Welcome to your favorite channel. Welcome to your favorite Q of the U. I am happy to be here with you today. I've got a real intellectual, spirit and soul activating and communicating spread for y'all today. And what I'm hoping is that you can find the superhuman, superhero, heroine and hero that lives within you by inspiring what I believe is the truth and maybe opening your eyes to things that you may not have heard of, things that you have may not seen before, and giving you another perspective on life. Now, I'm not here to push anything, no propaganda. And I'm not here to propose that you believe in anything. What I'm here to do is just be me and spend time with you. So, without further ado, let's jump in, shall we? That really moved me. I feel like, really, truly, we have been divine by design. We have been created to thrive from the soles of our feet, SOULS, and root out into where we receive our soul food. If you would like me to do a video series on how to accomplish that, let me know down in the comments.
Hitler said even in his death he would start World War III. One of the soldiers asked how. Hitler replied, "The day mankind finds out what I was trying to defend this nation from, then that's the day World War III will start. So on that day, mankind will learn that I was trying to save my nation from the Freemasons, the Illuminati, the Jews. For if Americans win the war, then they will conquer the world and forever be a slave to the Jews, and they would try to conquer God." That's accurate. That's exactly what happened.
That's a big one. That is really a big one. That's a heavy one. It's a punch. Let me know how you feel and what you're thinking, please, down in the comments.
Sounds to me like we need to get some new conspiracy theories because all the old ones turned out to be true. Back then. Conspiracy theorists are up to something like 37
Senator Kennedy for the win.
Okay, right where we want to go. You can go somewhere? Yeah. Okay, yeah, right. Let's go. Okay, come on, let's go. All right. I don't need Uber anymore. I just had a Pops take me where I want to go. There you go. Hold on a second. I need to get on the phone to this house before.
Oh, sure. I'll be fine. Later.
Thanks for hearing me, Kanye. Good to see you, bro.
Kanye, what's your message for your fans today?
I love you. Let's make the world a better place. Beautiful.
Kanye, man. And everyone said he's crazy. You know, you're always crazy till you do something great and people find out that crazy is exactly what it is intended to be. See, honey, crazy is the ability to see things that other people cannot. If you are crazy, you will succeed at whatever you do. And if you are not crazy, you, my opinion and my thoughts to you are go crazy. Get crazy and be crazy. Oh, shoot. What'd she say? I said, go ahead. Go ahead.
Have you ever used orphans to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Have you ever used babies of mothers in prison to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Have you ever used individuals under colonial rule to study an experimental vaccine?
Yes.
Did you do so in the Belgian Congo?
Yes.
Have you ever expressed that it's better to perform experiments on those less likely to be able to contribute to society?
I don't remember specifically, but it's possible. And again, I repeat that in the 1960s, that was more or less common practice. I've since changed my mind, but that was a long time ago.
Dr. Stanley Plotkin, y'all. This man was widely known as the godfather of vaccines. Now, yeah, the man saved millions, but at what price? Let me know how you feel about this man down in the comments.
I gotta be careful the way I say this. The Israeli government has a mandate they're gonna try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. I mean, that's, and I don't use that term lightly, okay? They're talking about basically removing 2.5 million people. But there are some serious questions here, Patrick. And let me tell you, my pattern recognition over the last 5 years has become pretty sharp. COVID, Maui fire, Epstein. When I see a story and it doesn't click, our guts are usually right.
I'm not one to really make opinions about other people. I don't talk about other people. I'm not the type of woman to gossip about anybody. And I can't say that I ever really. I'm sorry, just got it. I can't say that I have ever really made an opinion about um my friend Kirk. I felt I found him to be confusing, yes, but lately I have discovered that he had some very, very real insight about things. So my question to you is, what do you think? What do you think? What are your thoughts? What are your insightful intuitions about life, the world as it is, the world as it will be, and the people that we're seeing within it? Make discoveries, predictions, and land them right on point. Let me know how you feel about all that down in the comments.
We are the chosen people. They feel that we are elitists, that we think of ourselves as better than them, which we do. And therefore, they hate us. What can we do? God selected us.
You guys are worshiping one Jew. That's a mistake. You should be worshiping every single one of us.
The most powerful nations in the world have to go down to their knees. That's what happened to Egypt. That's what's going to happen to America.
People are supposed to be slaves. Jewish law permits the enslavement of any non-Jew, white or black. But that has nothing to do with racism. That's just a heter that we are allowed to enslave non-Jewish populations.
Whatever you have, the Jews will always control you. The Jews are in charge of the world. Science, financial, politics, behind the president.
Man, everything that we were taught to believe is a lie. And I mean to tell you what, there's a little bit of truth in all lies. A little bit of truth in every lie. And that's from the mouth of every liar. We've been told some massive lies. It's time to decipher really what it is. We, you, I, them, they, us, because it is us alone. We are in this together, friends. We have to, because we're family. And if we're not friends, then family falls apart. So let's dig in.
All going to go down. They're all going to go down to their knees, especially the Western ones. The Zohar says that they're going to go down hard for how they treated us over the last 2,000 years. For the destruction of the Second Temple and how they treated us, Hashem's going to take them down hard. He's going to humiliate them on the world stage. Western countries. Aphid, Edom. I'll take that one. That's what I want to see.
We are characterized as anti-Christian by the party that most seriously threatens Christianity through its connection with Marxist atheism, the Center Party. We must once again raise up Christianity, but it must be warrior Christianity. Christianity is not the teaching of silent suffering and burden-bearing, but rather of battle. As Christians, we have the duty to fight against injustice with all the weapons Christ has given us. Now is the time to fight with fist and sword.
Now it's time to fight with fist and sword. Hey, now all of us were called out after school. I mean, most of us have been called out by someone to meet me in the alley after school, or meet me wherever at the park or wherever it might be. And the point of being called out after school is because I am going to beat your ass. Okay, well, pick a team. It's time to pick a team.
I win. Girl, it's not a race. That's what losers say. What is that? The truth. Every time a new baby is born, the Federal Reserve issues a secret birth certificate printed by a company called the American Bank. That way, the government can use people as currency to back the debt they have with the World Economic Forum, which owns the central banks of every nation on Earth. But the WEF is just a front for the Council on Foreign Relations, which masterminded the 9/11 attacks as a pretext to invade Iraq, take the oil, and install fast food chains to make people slow, fat, and easily abductible by the shape-shifting reptilian aliens it works with. Now, back in the 30s, FDR made a deal with these reptilians to exchange people for technology. That was the basis of the New Deal. But ever since, they've been slowly replacing all the world leaders to create a nuclear holocaust to make global warming real for their takeover. That's how they made up the Cold War, by sending Leica to space to bite Neil Armstrong while Kubrick was faking the moon land. Now they're using satellite waves, contrails, and measles vaccines as mind control, and fluoridating the water to keep people's gold fillings intact so they can be sent back to, you guessed it, the Federal Reserve, where all the gold and birth certificates are stored by the real puppet master, the world manager, who is himself only the servant of the all-seeing eye who controls everything in the world. Who is wrong? You do win.
That is a program called Distorted that was canceled, and right after that aired. Who is your God? Who is your God? Who is standing at the top of your monument? You? Oh, it's not funny.
Snow White isn't a fairy tale about a princess. It's an alchemical manual about your dormant consciousness and the quantum field. Look at the archetype. The evil queen represents the ego and the artificial matrix. She is obsessed with the physical, the vanity, and with control. Snow White represents the divine feminine, your pure, uncorrupted, intuitive consciousness. The ego knows that if the pure consciousness stays awake, the matrix loses its power. So what does the queen do? She feeds her the poisoned apple. Today, that apple, it's the modern diet, the processed foods, the fluoride, the degradation of our biology that literally puts our pineal gland to sleep. While your divine consciousness is asleep, who protects it? The seven doors. These represent your seven chakras or the seven hermetic principles. They mine for gems in the earth, meaning they process the dense physical reality, keeping your base flesh circuit running while your higher self lies dormant, waiting for the spark of the divine masculine or the Christ code to kiss it awake. And the magic mirror, mirror, mirror on the wall, the mirror is the quantum field. The mirror doesn't judge. It doesn't lie. It acts as the gateway of change that simply reflects back the exact frequency you're holding. The ego queen demands the mirror validate her physical illusion, but the mirror can only reflect the absolute truth of Snow White's superior frequency. You have the poisoned apple in your hand every single day, keeping your higher self asleep. It's time to wake up, align the seven energy centers, and use the quantum mirror to manifest your reality. If you're ready to break the curse, understand the seven hermetic principles, the doors will be open to you. Thank you, and I love you.
It doesn't ever end now, does it? Never. Wide open. Floodgates.
Wouldn't it be crazy if the hantavirus is listed on the Schmovich vaccine list of negative side effects? They literally have hantavirus written there. Check it out. You can see there by the red highlight, you'll see a bunch of variations of hantaviruses. I mean, they literally put AIDS in the vaccine. I don't know if you know that. Like, they used a little bit of AIDS. Just a little bit of AIDS. I mean, Moderna's been working on a vaccine since 2024. Gee, it's almost like they knew what was coming. I'm so glad that their stocks are doing well. That makes me feel better. One last note of significance. We have the alien disclosure guy going on Joe Rogan today, Tim Burchett, the congressman. Joe Rogan has become a gatekeeper for the Epstein regime. So you know they're going forward with the alien disclosure. Get to Kalshi.com, promo code for real. Peace.
Yo, these are 5 mind control techniques that they use against you every day. And the scary part is you've probably fallen for about 3 of them just this week alone. The first one is called love bombing. This technique is used by most manosphere influencers. Now, love bombing is a manipulation tactic where the entire strategy is built around giving you praise, validation, and affection. And the end goal is to get an emotional attachment to the particular person or thing until you get what you actually want from them. And in the case of red pill influencers, it's usually just money. Now, the second tactic is called euphemisms, which is basically renaming something to frame it in a better light. My personal favorite is enhanced interrogation, which is just a nice way of saying torture. Now, the best part about this tactic is that it doesn't only deceive the audience, it deceives the person that actually uses the euphemism. Now, we get kind of dark with number 3, which is called a limited hangout. This is a persuasion tactic where somebody admits a small, controlled amount of truth in order to hide or distract from an even bigger truth. Number 4 is called a Gish Gallop. It's basically a tactic where somebody fires off a bunch of arguments, claims, and so-called facts in rapid succession in order to confuse you. So instead of actually making a valid point, they overwhelm you with quantity over quality. And at number 5, we have semantic satiation. Remember when black people owned the word woke? And then right-wing media repeated it in a negative fashion so many times that eventually the word woke became negative. So if they can take control of the emotional framing of a word, they can then control how it lands. And like I always say, we don't gatekeep around here. So if you know about any manipulation tactics that they use against the people, let us know in the comments section.
Did this woman accidentally prove she's an alien?
Information has come out about the P-52s, which are supposedly future human beings. First and foremost, more detailed images have come out, which I believe really shows how much I don't like P-52. But let's get into some of the physical attributes of P-52. Reflective eyes in darker environments, which I do not have, based on the fact that I am a human being. Abnormally tall.
She's pretty tall.
Clearly, I am very normal height. Unusually hands. Wingspan. Abnormally long legs. I don't know about you, but those legs look pretty normal length to me. P-52 has abilities such as telepathy and telekinesis, which I clearly cannot do.
Look at the paper.
As I am a human being.
Makes it spin.
I
don't know
can
how.
do it without touching it. Okay, I can. They also have a high IQ, which I guess explains the head. I obviously have a very normal size and a very average IQ. Anyway, guys,
130, which
as
is
I always say,
above average. Whoa, they weird, yo.
Question everything. Question everything. You don't have to believe in anything, but hold on to everything. Well, let me know how you feel about that one down in the comments.
Beings are given all resources, empowered to act on their own judgment. Outside the system.
So you want to do this, honeybee?
Well, we're talking about the space-time continuum. To simplify the field of quantum mechanics or quantum physics, basically all time is simultaneous. So when you enter into the space-time continuum, now you're in the fifth dimension, literally, and therefore all time is simultaneous. Kip Thorne did the research, came up with a mathematical model which shows exactly what I'm saying, that if you enlarge a wormhole to classic size, line it with exotic matter, which has negative mass and moves positive and forward in time, the opposite of antimatter, then you can actually create a time machine. Tatos will actually do that. By the way, was also known in the Egyptian hieroglyphics as Thoth, which was Hermes by the Greeks, who was the person who gave us language and books and writing, etc. Where do you think we get our technology? You know, the raw materials of this planet hasn't changed in thousands and thousands of years. We've had brilliant people living in ancient Egypt, the golden age of Greece, with Plato and Socrates, and Archimedes is really one of the most brilliant guys. And then this guy named Hero back in Rome in about the 1st century AD, he developed a steam engine, which is, by the way, in the Smithsonian, a working model, a little model of it, that the Romans rejected because they thought it didn't work, you know, but it did. Why didn't we have cell phones and TV shows and satellites and space programs back then? You know why? Because the interaction of ETs and time travelers give us our technology. And isn't it interesting? Every time there's a spike in technology, it's always corroborated and coincides with ET, UFO observations, and some of these time traveler episodes. Time travel is real. It's always been around. All the ancient Greek civilizations, the Romans, the mystery schools, they've all reported it. Man did not invent electricity or fire. We discovered it.
E.T. was not calling in and giving us the information that we have now. Back then.
Yo, was he tripping when he said this?
I'm sad because I want my child to look like me. Every intelligent person wants his child to look like him. I'm sad because I want to blot out my race and lose my beautiful identity. Chinese love Chinese. They love the little slanted-eyed, pretty brown-skinned babies. Pakistanis love their culture. Jewish people love their culture. A lot of Catholics don't want to marry another Catholics. They want the religion to stay the same. You a hater of your people if you don't want to stay who you are.
And of course, some people got triggered by this. If you know anything about Muhammad Ali, you know he spoke and he lived with conviction. Now, if Muhammad Ali said those exact same words in today's climate, he would be immediately canceled. But you know what's crazy? Whether you believe he was right or wrong, he eventually shed those beliefs over time. And not because some crowd or mob pressured him into changing his mind. He did that on his own. You know it's okay to not agree with everything somebody believes in, but still respect the parts of them that you admire. It feels like nowadays we've lost that ability. Everybody loves conviction and honesty until honesty comes in a package that you don't agree with.
All I can say is, isn't that the truth?
Promise you've never heard this before. Your brain and your biological clock are mathematically locked into a perfect 24-hour Merkaba. Look at the base of your brain. There are 12 cranial nerves that plug directly into your reality matrix, similar to the numbers on a clock and what you kind of saw in the Matrix. These 12 circuits have highly specific biological purposes. What I found in my own journey is that 6 of these are flesh circuits. They govern the senses, seeing threats, chewing, balancing, survival, and the other 6 are divine circuits. They literally connect you to God. Most people think the goal is to escape the physical body, and it's not. Our job is to create a safe somatic container inside these sensory flesh circuits so that the body relaxes enough to let us tap into the divine. This isn't just theory. Your day is divided into 2 12-hour cycles. Within those cycles, the veil thins on a highly specific rhythm. Every 4th hour is a divine portal. At 12, 4, and 8, the veil opens. In between those portals, at hours 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, and 11, you are in the flesh hour. Your job in those 3-hour blocks is to ground yourself, to tap into the physical senses, to anchor the energy. Then when the clock strikes 12, 4, or 8, you pierce the veil and tap into the divine circuit. This is not a coincidence. Look at the hard biological and historical proof. At exactly 4 a.m., the ancient Vedic traditions observe Brahma Muhurta, the creator hour, the exact time the pineal gland is most receptive to spiritual frequency. At exactly 8 a.m., your biology triggers the peak cortisol awakening response, locking you into material reality. At exactly 8 p.m., the pineal gland begins mass synthesis of melatonin, shifting your brain waves from beta to alpha, opening the inward journey. And at noon and at midnight represent the ultimate solar and cosmic peaks of the day. If you plot 12, 4, and 8 twice on a 24-hour dial, you don't just get random times. You draw a perfect 6-pointed star. You literally draw a Merkaba. The 369 frequency isn't just your anatomy. It's governing time itself. You have 3 cycles of the flesh circuit to go through each day, punctuated by windows where the divine is amplified. You don't just fight the clock, you align with the neurology. Grounding in the flesh, set your intentions, and pierce the veil. And further proof is if you look at the Fibonacci, it has the exact same 24 cycles inside of it, which every fourth number is 3, 6, and 9, and the entire reality around you. Thank you, and I love you.
If you didn't know, well, now you know. Dig deeper so you can understand what it is that you just found out.
Your identity has been programmed to keep you in a low frequency loop. And when Kanye West sat on with Joe Rogan, he exposed the exact glitch they use to control you. Listen to what Ye actually had to say. He pointed out the labels black, white, brown aren't real. They're all socio-political misnomers. They are engineered constructs designed to enforce division, establish a hierarchy of privilege, and strip away your lawful sovereign nationality. I mean, check this out. The Proto-Indo-European root for the word black literally meant pale or colorless. They flipped the linguistics to create an identity crisis. When you identify primarily with a socio-political label, your consciousness is trapped in the physical matrix. But how does this actually work mechanically? To understand this, you have to look at vortex mathematics. I know it sounds crazy. In this video, we're going to talk about how 3, 6, and 9 work around the construct of time. In the physical universe, energy moves in a closed loop. 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, and 8. This is the flesh circuit. It's the realm of duality of division of rich versus poor, black versus white. As long as you are fighting the system using their labels, you are vibrating inside that 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 physical loop. You cannot defeat the matrix from inside the matrix. To break free, you have to access the divine numbers 3, 6, 9. These numbers govern the invisible architecture of the universe. They exist outside the physical loop. The elite know this, which is why they structure the construct of time, the 12-hour clock, to map perfectly to this trinity. Every 4 hours on the clock, 4, 8, and 12, the gate opens to the 369 frequency. This is why the human biology is designed to sleep for 8 hours. Sleep is not just resting the body. It's a forced biological disconnection from the 1, 2, 4, 5, 7, 8 flesh circuit. When you sleep, you forget your socio-political labels. You forget you engineered past trauma. You pass through at least 2 of the divine 4, 8, 12 gates, entering the 369 frequency, where your brain becomes highly neuroplastic. Neuroscientist Dr. David Engelman broke this down perfectly on the Diary of a CEO podcast. He explained that your brain is not a fixed system. It's constantly adjusting itself, depending on what you focus on and what you repeat and what you expose yourself to. The brain physically rewrites itself based on experiences. When you pass through the 369 gates during sleep, you are in the ultimate state of neuroplasticity. So here's the thing. If you go to sleep vibrating in fear, the matrix rewires your neural pathways for slavery. If you set the right intention right before you cross the threshold of sleep, you hijack those 369 gates. You rewrite your own identity code. This is exactly what Kanye was attempting to show us. He wasn't crazy. He was grounded in the true mathematics of reality. So stop letting sociopolitical labels dictate your frequency. Inside the Miracle Academy, we teach the exact sleep and intention protocols to decouple from the matrix and activate your sovereignty. Comment Miracle below, and I'll send you the exact blueprint designed to help you escape this flesh matrix. Thank you, and I love you.
And stop believing the lie that they've created about what crazy really means. Like I mentioned earlier, fam, go ahead, go crazy. Get crazy. Happy, crazy.
Drink it now!
Okay? Drink that water. Drink all that water. As a matter of fact, you see this right here? Yeah. I have drank one of these already today, and I've refilled it. I am a water snob, as a matter of fact. If the water ain't good enough, I ain't drinking it. We have come to, excuse me, we have come to an end, but we have not ended, and we will not end here. I know because I can feel that so many of you are struggling in ways that are incomprehensible, in ways that we could have never imagined. I know that I never ever believed that I would see the day where all of everything that finally, excuse me, I'm so sorry. We are being flooded with so much information about the authentic reality of lies that we knew and have always known are there and have sickly hid. We are not, none of us going through this alone. We are in it together, all of us. What else do we have? What other choice do we have? So if there's ever a time where you need someone to reach out to, you know where the comments are. You know where our community is. You know, community. The definition of community and what that means. Jump on, jump in. Okay? I need you just as much as you need me. So I'm just your little 5'3" Q with a U. This is where everything that's happening is what's happening. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for your subscription. Thank you for your like. And thank you for throwing in a comment. Get us in that algorithm. And excuse this problem I got in my throat. I'm still dealing with when I was in the hospital. And they almost killed me. And then at the end of all of that, when I came back to life, I was diagnosed with walking pneumonia. So I'm still dealing with that. So thank you for your patience. Thank you for, I guess, dealing with the fact that I have a frog in my throat. I was gonna try to come up with something a little more clever, but nah, you're always on my mind, and that's real. Here with Q and you, and this is your authentic reality. It's what's happening.